Hello and welcome to Imp's Adventures podcast on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Help the network out by leaving us a 5-star review, give a donation directly through Red Circle, and become one of the amazing community by joining the Social Suplex Discord. A link is in the description. Read the Social Suplex newsletter, shout out to Trish and Tim as always, and to every person who's contributed so far. Listen to the other top-notch shows here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, Trish and Sarah, Tunnel Talk, Sam Brown's AEW Match Guide, and Joshi-ing Around. The new show here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Make sure to keep an eye out for that. If you are subscribed to the Social Suplex feed, you will already get that one. It will come through the feed. Also, I'd like to plug the FOH draft for a couple of months after it's always a great laugh. My name is Matt Maher, aka Imp, and this is your quick look back at the AEW week that was. 30 minutes of a chant AEW were not able to air. It got over. Oh no, this is a problem. Our advertisers won't allow us to air this. This is a problem. Collision dealt with it. How will Dynamite do next week? We'll have to wait and see. Does the chant carry on? Unfortunately, I don't even know if I can say it, so I've got to wait. There was a new rule that came into YouTube. It's the YouTube side that's the problem. There was a new rule that came in that said you can say certain words and swear words before a certain time, and it's absolutely fine. But I'm not going to, play Danger Ball. I'm going to have to wait till I get to it, so I'll talk about it when we get to Collision. But I had a lot of fun watching Dynamite and just hearing all the times the crowd audio was replaced. Because a certain chant got over. They're having a great time. On my blue sky, it also seemed to get over. People were really enjoying this chant, but it has repercussions. And a poor editor in AEW had to go in and pipe it over with generic crowd sound. Go in and do some extra work, all because Orlando wanted to chant for something, which I'm going to have to leave till we get to it. This week from Orlando, Florida, and we started off with the AEW World Champion MJF having a little chinwag with Brody King.
And last week, Bandito was the first of many in a long line of losers to find out the hard way that 2026 is the year of the devil and ain't nobody on my level. Well, that's a big level right there. Big one.
An immediate elevation of 2025's up-and-comers. No hanging about, no holding off because of some arbitrary need for the lad to hit a certain numerical number on a what makes a star checklist. MJF out on media talking about this being the time to elevate young talent, ripping into WWE for refusing to give their young stars any major crowns, and also naming them. Just saying, they've got people they could be pushing in Bron Breakker. Almost like naming and shaming WWE, being like, you should be making this guy a star, but for some arbitrary numerical checklist reason, you're not. But I feel like over here in the AEW world, things are pretty positive in terms of the momentum coming out of 2025 and going into 2026. There's such a positive feeling in terms of where the company is headed. The fans are very happy with what they're being served with. The characters are getting over. They're making more stars as well. They're pushing young talent who did well in 2025 and are now giving a chance in 2026. Well, let's push you high up the card to see how that goes. First Bandito, now Brody King, because this week on Dynamite, the week after a top-notch Bandito defense, right into the tag partner we swing. They both got properly over in 2025, so don't hold off. Just bloody elevate them. Also, not a bad recruitment tactic, telling us in both marketing and in show writing that they'll actually reward and push young talent who prove themselves and get over. Brody King out to interrupt Max and call him a little bitch. The champion saying no to his challenge, not because he's scared, but because he believes Brody is all bark and no bite. Love the line from Brody King saying, I thought about, punching my hand through your chest and ripping out your spine, but I'm not going to do that. And then there's the character switch in MJF, where he just like, well, I don't think you really deserve the match anyway, but yeah, I'm not saying that because I'm scared or anything. Immediately hides behind the ropes, telling him, sure, woof woof man have streak now, but those matches were against jobbers and dweebs, so come back to me when you've beaten someone proper. And a great little bit with MJF just getting flustered the second Brody stepped to him. A full-on jitter off a single bark, and King so easily proved that yes, Max is scared of him. The second you bark at a bully and they immediately fold. Oh look, my Europeans did a similar thing this week too. But it's just a nice little thing to have Brody King have the time with MJF. I'm not going to swing to it as quickly as we did Bandito. Brody King's have a little bit of a period where he's proving himself, elevating himself at the card, because Bandito did win the ring, so MJF had to defend it. And now that MJF is given a chance, he's immediately going, no. No, I'm not a fighting champion. I'm a smart champion. Smart champions don't get the spines ripped out. So it makes sense for Brody King to go through a little prove yourself thing where it's undeniable that he at least deserves a shot. And he's right, he made sure in the weeks building up to this that Brody King was getting wins, but getting wins over nobodies, over people he could easily beat the shit out of within 30 seconds. And this is in the middle of loads of top guys declaring themselves as going after the AEW championship. Like for next week's Dynamite, we've got Swerve, certified top lad, and then Andrade was talking about going for the title. Those two are having a match next week. Just adding another guy into it, we've got Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, Swerve, all like officially there, and then these other ones just tickling their way in. Like at the moment, the word I would use to describe it all is healthy. AEW's world title challenger scene feels very healthy. Like the road ahead of MJF feels like there's a lot to go through. And it's also on a point where I don't mind if there's a title change within there because of all the different dynamics at play. I don't mind if there's someone like a Swerve who just snatches it for a moment, and then you've got all the different dynamics within the field that's still there, but suddenly the matches you're looking up to are very different but still exciting. And if MJF just defends against them all, that's also an exciting road. So I feel pretty damn positive right now. I've got a couple of other bits from this week's show. Backstage with Renee, Hangers, Knight and Speedball, we're trying to come up with a team name. Kevin suggested Jet Speed Rodeo, Bailey, Horsecock. It's been enough, right? we're hopefully about 10 minutes in. If they meant it, it was a genius way to get around the censor, where them saying that they're called Jet Speed Rodeo, but we all know they're called Horsecock. Like, they can't officially call themselves that, but we know they are. But this resulted in multiple chants relating to said Equine member, whose house? Horsecock. And oh boy, on Collision, so much of the audio was replaced. I'll call it in the moment when I'm talking about Collision, but generally there were parts of the Hangman match which were just like Hangman doing the just like, no, the hand across the throat, like, no, stop. You can't be saying that. And they're doing F him up, Horsecock, F him up. And he's like, they can't air that. Like, no. And a Triangle of Madness made their spooky promises. Cosmic Babes of Wrath, then later having Chris accept Tekla's challenge, and the Babes, the Spooky Girls. And the first match to talk about Speedball Mike Bailey versus Samoa Joe. Time for Joe to fill that former AEW champion has a Dynamite opening match banger spot on the card. Bailey tried to chop the man down with their kicks, but one chop at ringside and Jesus, what an echo and ripple throughout the arena in reaction. Poor Mike believably grounded after that. The Canadian fought back, but with Shibata and Hook strolling out to ringside, the baddie numbers kept taking shots of ref distractions into and through the ad break. Missile drop kick back into momentum once we were back. Even nailed a shooting star press to no avail. Bailey got to score plenty of offense on Mr. Joa. So obviously we got our most brutal distraction jump yet. Shibata hitting a suplex on the apron, then keeping hold of them and a second and a cheeky leg hurty to really send them back into the ring with a mark for Joe to score that 25% extra damage on. During the baddie leg traps, the crowd's amp up chant of choice was "Let's go Horsecock." I was like, oh no, it's fully over with the crowd. We'll see when we get to the next town. We're in the next show for Dynamite. Are they chanting for it still? Is this going to be a production problem? Because I thought it'd be a funny bit, and then it got so over, everybody's chanting it. Karate Kid crane kick actually hit. Loved the sell of that. Loved commentary being like, well, that's obviously not going to work. Oh! As he immediately does it. Moonsault double knees just to hurt a man whilst he's down. Multiple rotations to spin into the corner kick, but Hook distraction let Joe walk away from the ultimate weapon. Again and again, the baddie interference didn't secure the momentum, and Speedball kept kicking back. It taking both Shibata and Hook jumping up onto the apron to work a large enough distraction for Joe to snap into the muscle buster victory. Loved how that played out. Ignore that part of your brain that's going, we're Bailey's friends, as the trade-off with Bailey really getting to show that fight is more than worth it to me. They stood toe-to-toe, showing that they're good enough to beat the former AEW champion, elevating Speedball into defeat. Just really good stuff. Street fight! Death Riders John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Daniel Garcia versus Lance Archer, Hechicero, and Rocky Romero. A little taste of violent delights for our Wednesday dinner. Crazy ad break table bump lead-in with Archer crashing Yuta through the thing with Tat flying up in the air. Mox took all the ad break beating, getting Orlando behind him for that fight back once we returned. Lance Archer wanted his second table, popped up in the corner, but Shafir stepped in. Archer took some tees, caught into a Marina armbar, picked the ankle and cut her for Mox. Damn, these little moments make Shafir look so awesome. The actual table bump was lovely fun too, with Archer just baby carrying Papa Mox and charging into the thing. Mox eventually got his moment and wasted no time finding his little black tray decorated with barbed wire, thumbtacks and broken glass. Teased Asuka crashing into it, but I guess Mox needed to get his street cred back after all the Disneyland stuff. Like, he had a lovely time with a kid at Disneyland. Here, blood immediately poured with tack stuck right into his back. Oh, okay, there's Mox getting his street cred back. Death Rider running on the stage to send us into our winning flow. Archer went to murder Yuta, instead stopping by Pac's crutch, with Claudio grabbing the thing and flying off the stage to swing as the Swiss Superman, with a funny spark when Archer got his head hit onto not the electric box. I love it when wrestling does bollocks like that. Rocky all by himself got all the beating. Hechicero, no makey, no savey, shoved away and left poor Romero to eat a stomp before getting talked all the way back in Garcia's sharpshooter. After the match, Shafir held the mic at the announce table for Mox to deliver a quick message to Don Callis. Hit your boy up, you know where I'm at, or something like that. I may have got the essence of what he was saying and then not noted it down, so later I was like, oh, I've not noted that. And then I've gone back to it. What is it like? Oh, I can't be asked to find it in the time code. You know what? Something like hit your boy up. Something like that. Yeah, this was just like a fun chaos match with a John Moxley blood bit. Archer seemed to be the linchpin of the match that everybody else was dancing around. Just the big lad who was just happy to do everything. A proper laugh at him just baby carrying John Moxley into the table. FDR versus versus Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. New young AEW indie signings quickly got a TV dance against the champions. I mean, both the champions and the challengers this week got to beat them up. But it's TV time, it's exciting, new indie signing. Cash cocky in the beginning, but these lads are new signings, so that was never destined to simply be. Stoke actually got them over on commentary as tag champions in their own right. Price with an impressive leap over the top rope, another impressive jump for his top rope double stomp, getting hyped like he's Woody Harrelson showing up Wesley Snipes. I see Alec is the super athletic one here. Jordan tried to chop battle with Dax, which wasn't very smart, but no power and glory. Suplex and splash with Price head scissoring Wheeler off and Oliver ending up on top for a near fall. The second the younguns were separated, Dax and Cash snapped in and Shatter Machine for the win and Stokely gloat, and we move on. We get a little bit more of this stuff when the Double Ds have their fight with them. Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander. Any other week, I'm calling this my match of the night. Unfortunately, it's the main event. I absolutely adored the main event. But with a blindside baddie jump during Kenny's entrance, it snapped us right into Don Callis' family plan. The ringside mat lifted up before anything in the ring, and Omega was only in there for a second before launching himself back onto his fellow Canadian man outside. No surprise that this match was damn solid. They exposed concrete tees, but after the break, a Snapdragon suplex crashed Alexander into pain. Terminator dive time, and the landing called Pain O'Clock for Kenny's tailbone. Didn't like that landing. Didn't like that. V-trigger in the ring stopped by a Canadian enziguri, and a beautiful crash of a suplex taking both lads out of the ring in front of the announce desk. An announce desk that soon after had Kenny slamming Josh's head into it over and over. Hilarious escape from Don the second Omega stepped his way, sprinted out towards an exit, and even shouted at a security staffer to help him. When he finally returned to comms, he's chased me halfway out the building when Kenny never left the ringside area. Alexander on top got his hug from Callis, then into the ring and immediately into a V-trigger. Then I'd ate a full flow of Omega's signature offense, one winged angel for the win. Cut to MJF watching on from backstage. Kenny with a mic after the match, got the cheap pop for telling Orlando he lives in Florida now. Called Don out for trying to strike whilst he's not 100%, but the family can lick their wounds and try again when he's champion. See, I love that. Focus on both beating up Don Callis and showing him up, but his focus is on the championship. And that's something they've weaved very well with the other guys, where they're having these other matches, they're doing other things, but their character is focused on the championship. So even though they're not facing MJF, the Sharks are circling in. There's top guys all going for it. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus the Timeless Love Bombs. Another match that got right into the clobber and action, with the four battling it up right from the goodie jog into the ring. The ad break spot worked perfectly to kill time. Not so perfectly for Mina's ribs, with Bane's power press throw launching the woman out of the ring onto Tony, but she landed overhead and crashed on her side. Tony quickly checking on her as we cut to break like, oh, that looked like a painful landing. Then in the break, Bane threw her own tag partner out onto them too. Once we were back, Shirakawa was eating all the baddie tag offense, using what had happened beforehand to just really sell every single next level of pain. But no complaints from me, it's not exactly a boring baddie heat segment given how great Bane and Ford are together. Such a shame that Penelope got injured when she did, like surely there were tournament plans to really showcase these two. Quite a lengthy baddies working over the hurty goodie, cutting her off and halting her hot tags. Eventually, Jumpy Ropey Dope opened the door and hot tag to Tony all fired up. Nay, top rope Mina tag move cut off by Bane, but both baddies on the apron did call for the double booty bumps. I mean, dual hip attacks! I love how so much of Bane and Ford's offense is just the big lass launching her tag partner about. Flash flow with everyone having their moment to look cool, like Ford ducking under the lariat to cutter, Mina dodging to spinning back fist. Doomsday Device looked amazing too. Baddies with the win amongst the boos, because Marina Shavir had wrapped around Tony in the choke at ringside, trapping her so she couldn't help break up the pin. And when the Doomsday Device looks that good, you don't break it up. Like generally it looks, I don't know what they're doing enough to make the move look that good, but every time, no matter who they're hitting it on, that Doomsday Device looks great. And the main event, I think my match of the week, Swerve Strickland versus Kevin Knight. Before we get to the match, Rest in Peace Prophet was on the title card, Excalibur giving words on Prophet 2 with commentary bringing full focus to Swerve, dedicating his match to this friend that had worked on his current entrance track too. And man, what a match to dedicate. Already of importance given its purpose to establish and convince us that Kevin Knight's a future top guy for this company, but man, they really delivered. And you know they hit a home run when I open up my social media of choice to see folk calling for the pairing to become a long-term revisited thing. Some awesome brutal spots too. Death Valley Driver on the apron, stuffed pile driver on the barricade, Swerve kicking into that higher gear fully aware it's going to take a lot to keep this man down. And damn, the crowd was electric for Knight's comeback flow after. Head scissors brought Swerve down, then the coast to coast brought Orlando to their feet. Swerve tapped his temple with a smile. House call from Kevin Knight. Such a great run after. House call out of midair and a vertebreaker to seal it. JML Driver for the win, with MJF watching from an on high, all pouty with his title. Such a great match. Kind of flown through the beats on purpose, just because I wanted to get across. This was a great match. Just go watch it yourself. Plus, I like to more catch the vibe of a match than actually just call move for move what happened. Sometimes I'll do like a sequence just to explain the flow. But really, as long as I've captured the vibe, this was an excellent match. Crowd got so behind Knight and stayed standing for that final stretch. Honestly, a show that did so much to elevate the potential future of AEW whilst making their current top guys feel like such big deals. And that's my biggest takeaway from the episode. Is it the craziest episode ever? No. Had an incredible main event. Kenny Omega, Josh Alexander was also really solid. But when I left the show, the feeling I had was that they had genuinely done a really good job of telling you who the future is, telling you who they're going to be pushing as potential guys to enter that main event scene, like Bandito, Brody King, and your current top guys, Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, MJF, they all felt like stars, which means I just have to give it an applause. Solid show. Absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed what you set out to do. Not every week can be a banger. Sometimes it's got to be this. And it wasn't even boring because it's AEW. They established future guys by having awesome matches. And then we get over to Collision, where real life kicks in a little bit. For this was a hodgepodge Collision with whoever was in the building. Because of the cold storm, they had to suddenly just film Collision on the same night as Dynamite. Like, we ended up with Paul White on commentary, Billy Gunn tagging with his son, Baron Corbin had a dark match. I just love what the story of how that happened, where Baron Corbin was just driving Paul White to the show just so he could catch up with a friend, and then he's just hanging around backstage, hanging around because like there are people there that will know. And next thing you know, suddenly they need to fill a card, and suddenly he's like, wait, Corbin, have you got your gear with you? Because we just need to fill this dark match. We just need to fill it. And the quote from Baron Corbin afterwards being like, oh, what happened there? How was that? He's like, oh, I love Paul White. It seemed, but that was his response. I love that guy. And he caused it's crazy that to happen. It was fun. I just love that. Like that's the end of the story. If you were to go into social medias and things, I'm not even on Twitter, and I know that there are different places posting, Missy WWE guy goes to AEW. New surprise AEW signing. Like, no. It just seemed to be like a unique circumstance, and everyone involved seemed to think it would be fun, and it was fun. Everyone had a fun time, and we all move on with our lives. We all had a fun night out. Doesn't mean I'm starting a business relationship with them. So yes, jumping over to Collision for the Hodgepodge show, starting with Katsuya Shibata versus Hangman Adam Page.
Off the corner, boom! Missed the first time, now with the second one.
Now he's got him measured.
Look at those eyes.
And look at the fans come to their feet. Here it is. Boom! Buckshot Larry. 1, 2, 3.
Collision kicked off with some hangers heat immediately out to ringside, which at one point had Shibata curled up on the timekeeper's table like a baby, out into the crowd with their chants piped over in editing. And okay, here we go. Here we go. Luckily, the people on Blue Sky were there to translate what was said. Like, fuck him up, horsecock, fuck him up. It's like, okay. That's why Hangman Page is doing that gesture. Like, no, stop it. That's why they replaced over the audio. It's like, yes. Maybe they got word from somebody in the in-between periods, like, you can't air that. You can't air a crowd chanting that. And every time they piped up chanting loudly for horsecock, the sound just changed. And this is one of those situations where I implore you to explain this situation to non-wrestling fans. Just explain what's happening here. I was like, oh yeah, I was watching the wrestling show and they had to edit out the audio and pipe something in because the live crowd were chanting for horsecock the whole time. Like, what? What situation leads to this? During the ad break, an all-time great dick kick straddled in the corner awaiting a Shibata dropkick charge. The ops man instead stopped and swiftly booted him up the gooch. I just loved it. And the Orlando crowd reacted as if Shibata had kicked the soul out of him. It was just so good. Back from the break into suplexes galore, applause from the fans and chants of AEW amongst a competitive fight after the two were grounded from each other's stiff forearms. Apron fun times, Shibata called for a brainbuster killing. Instead it was he who what did get died, reversed into a deadeye and Arihara moonsault just to add to injury. The audio fully edited away, as I'm sure we got more horsecock chants running out in support. This might be a problem going forward for AEW's production. Please, the advertisers don't like it. Please stop chanting for horsecock. Having to do memos at shows. Oh, I love it. A cool improvised buckshot out of the corner didn't hit, but it did swing us into the win and an actual standard buckshot. I thought Shibata was great in his belly roll here too. This might have been the most I enjoyed baddie Shibata, but maybe it's because I was just in a good mood, having a good laugh at them having to edit out all the horsecock. Maybe that was why. And have I said it far too much for this video to get any chance of surviving on YouTube? We'll see. Like a fair bit of other bits because it is Collision, and you've got a Dynamite to hype up. Don Callis and his boys were out on the golf course with Ricochet. Got an interview with Alex Marvez as David and Doyle choked a caddy out in the background. Jack Perry angry about his dinosaur having his return cut short by Ricochet, so he's going to take the national championship from him. Stabs his little dagger into a square piece of wood to emphasise his point. He's cool. He's cool enough to have a dagger, but not too cool to stab it into a table or cause any inconvenience. Later on, Ricochet cut right back, hyped himself up, promised no luck for Perry in Las Vegas. The grizzled young vets got a wee video play, angry to camera about the cheating as the video of their loss played, talked all tough about being perfectly fine using weapons, cut to Eddie Kingston in his garage turned home gym, laughing at it all with a, I mean, sure, I guess if that's what you really want. Darby Allin knows a guy who knows a thing or two about getting back up from brutal injuries. Bam Margera! Like, okay. Viva la Darby as he giggles watching the older gentleman fall. 11, 12-year-old me would go over to my friend's house all the time and watch LimeWire downloaded Viva la Bam episodes. Oh, those were the days. Would it be good if I watched it now? Highly unlikely, given the era it was in. Especially given it's in that that era of skateboard star car crash reality TV thing. It's like, oh, I'm sure that show can't be good. Surely if I go back and watch that now, they can't be good. The Rascals eating snacks filmed with a fisheye lens, a way more realistic weed depiction. Like, hey, they're just talking and eating snacks. Yeah, there we go. There we go. No billow of smoke, no glassy-eyed, whoa, man. Like, no, they may be a bit more silly. Not doing any over-the-top acting for it. Also, it's a genius gimmick because you get free snacks. Absolutely genius. There's a table full of the stuff. Like, oh, we need to make the snacks look half-eaten. Well, there's one quick way to do that. Genius. Absolute genius. Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor agreed to team up in an alliance and start a team together. You're a formidable champion, mate. Before then cutting to Jamie Hayter. I got a little bit spoiled on this segment. It doesn't really matter. It's not really that important. But I found it very funny because AEW's post was just of the handshake shot, and that's all I saw on Blue Sky. Like, I think it says something like, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor decide to team together, and Alex Windsor's hands come out, and then out comes Jamie Hayter's hand to do the shake. But because of Jamie Hayter's coat, it generally looked like AEW had signed a furry for a second. This animal arm just comes out. It's just really funny. Is it Harry Henderson? Harry and the Hendersons? Is it something like that? It just really reminded me of that creature. Just something like that. Just come out to shake Alex Windsor's hand. Out of context, that is a woman shaking hands with a furry thing. It's really caught me off guard. Chris Statlander versus Isla Dawn. The Scot out with the grizzled young vets to fight the Dune champion lady. She got some offense in, but Stat landed one awesome looking dropkick off the top rope, and that was that. Saturday Night Fever for the win. Shivani on commentary noted on how Chris has now beaten 54 different opponents. Cut to Tekla for her baddie promo on the Tron. Such a shame. This will be your last match as champion. No worry, there'll be other dumb bitches. Crowd loved that line. Playing on the Cosmic Space Lady with a long live and prosper and the Vulcan V before sticking up the middle finger. Tekla is so good. Spat on Chris's shirt and threw it in the trash. I think Tekla's great. Personally, I'm like, she's so good. Put the title on her. But where this match is happening, just next week on Dynamite, I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is the place. As much as I personally want her to be champion, I think at this moment it screams that I'm possibly just a fan of Tekla. I think I might just be. And at that point, I'm blinded by any other logic. Just crown the woman, she's great. And speaking of people who are great, Austin Gunn and Billy Gunn versus Proto Sheeta. It's official. Proto Sheeta written across the Tron and everything. Mashed Tron graphics with the flickering techno pink of Fletcher and Takeshita's Demon Warrior. If anything, just making it feel even more cyberpunk. It was supposed to be Ace with Austin, but due to the cold storm, the man had to wrestle with his dad instead. On the same show as Stupid Sexy Andrade, which we will get to. Which we will get to. Austin was stuck wrestling with his dad. There's got to be different levels of cool, you know? Not everybody can just ooze like that. Like, sometimes you do just need a guy who looks like he drinks a lot of beer wrestling with his dad. You need that to just level it out. I mean, the Guns weren't out as winners. That wasn't their purpose on the show anyway. The crowd bubbled for Billy and Konosuke squaring up. The AEW audience still likes themselves a big boy bash. Funny bit where Don chopped Billy and instantly regretted it, flinching and apologising within a second. Blue Thunder Bomb hit to Austin, broken by Billy. Papa Gunn rightfully ate all the forearms after, and it did give his son a chance to fight back. Just a chance though. Corner kick from Fletcher, whipped to Takeshita for the Raging Fire. Happy times for the Don Callis family, a nice little victory. But then when he raised their arms, Kazuchika Okada's coin dropped. What? A night without any drama? No. Kazu can't be having that. Just a Chesser grin from the stage as Takeshita got all livid, held back in the ring. Alec Price and Jordan Oliver versus Davies and Doyle. Double duty for the new boys on both Dynamite and Collision. A unique encounter with Price eating a jumping Doyle dick to the face right out of the gate. Just two big burly men launching about the wee folk. But Price and Oliver didn't know when to quit. Price with a beautiful floating springboard whisper in the blockbuster thing. Hilarious murder moment with the Double D's launching one lad from ringside into the other through the ropes head first. Black hole slam for Doyle, pop power driver from Davies for the double pin win. Don Callis with something important to say to FDR ahead of Wednesday's title match. A very simple win contenders match. Champions win a match, get some words. Challengers win a match, get some words. Do the match, pop to the Winchester, have a few drinks and call it a night. Like, not every story has to be an elaborate emotional epic. We've got that coming, like, don't you worry. Christian Cage and Sirius Adam, they're waiting in the wings. As much as we're having these nice little stories with FDR, don't you worry, the Sirius epic is coming. But not every story has to be this big elaborate thing. I'm absolutely fine with a very standard 3-week build. Just keep the wheels flowing, it's absolutely fine. And you're delivering really entertaining matches as you're doing it. So at that point I'm like, well, that's your purpose of your show. So as long as you're delivering those, I'm gonna be happy. TBS Championship winner Nightingale versus Julia Hart. It's my title, the rapid reason for this one. Less enthusiastic about this title match where there's absolutely no belief of Julia Hart possibly winning. I don't believe Davies and Doyle are going to win, but I'm excited to see them as that new tag team. Here with Julia Hart, this is a first defence for Willow, where its place in the card kind of screams that as well. More of an outlet to let our new champion defend in a wee wrestle, whilst also building to Stat and Tekla on Wednesday. Willow just had the better of most things Julia threw at her, which called for the usual spooky sister interference, but our goody champion had her Harley to counter. Julia went into the ad break on top, but we were guaranteed an interference-free flow once we came back. Double handed corner chop to Willow's boobs when we got back. Then a soul food eat defeat to Willow's boob, but I'm not entirely sure what Julia Hart's plan was here. I jest. I know she's just hitting the move safely. It was like back-to-back moves to Willow's boob. I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing with this damage targeting here. And my brain went on this random walk. I'm just like, should in wrestling big boobs be treated like don't headbutt a foreigner? Is it like no effect, nullified? With such a good stalling walking suplex strolling around ringside with the wee lass hoisted up. Spider trap into the ropes, a more intelligent wearing down from the challenger. You can actually work with that. A quick run in the end, champion feet up to meet the moonsault. Babe bomb rolled out of into a roll-up pin. But after escaping, a stiff shot to the chest was enough to rock Julia to nail that babe bomb for the win. A title defense. It's good that Willow gets her first title defense and it happens, and it's in the middle of also building to the bigger match. So I'm not critiquing this as a bigger match, but this was just a title match in the middle of a show. Sure, somewhat thrown together show, but this felt like this was the plan anyway. And then we get to Magnus versus Stupid Sexy Andrade. Magic Andrade clearly just having fun for the night, putting on a show and even flustering Ref Aubrey when he whipped off his pants during the ad break. Let's just go through it. Started the match in full house show Road to t-shirt and white jeans. I love me a baddie. This town doesn't deserve my abs to get booed. And at first I found the female fan asking for a selfie and getting his number spot a little bit cringy. When you just know that they're trying to play it off as like a genuine thing, it's like, oh, it just feels cringy. However, then the crowd started chanting "take your pants off," and he followed through in such dramatic showman fashion. Like, you just can't be hating on that. And I'm so looking forward to Tunnel Talk's reaction. So looking forward for this. I was immediately waking up on Sunday morning to Ned Flanders memes with no context. Just a picture of Andrade and the Ned Flanders meme. I'm just like, I'm going to have to watch Collision. What's going on here? But this new Andrade, who was seemingly got over by stripping. We're turning that new act where he comes out in the t-shirt and the jeans, and he can get heat by refusing to take anything off now. He can just wrestle in them and not take anything off, and then get a huge pop when he does. I've watched a lot of Tai Chi. I've watched a lot of Tai Chi wrestling. Every time he gets a pop for whipping those off. Every single time. And for me, the best thing about it was Ref Aubrey. She posted on Blue Sky that she genuinely had no idea that Andrade was going to do that. Genuine shock on her face when he stripped down to his tighty, budgie smuggling trunks. Aubrey's like, oh. Like, sure, commentary called back to his Inga Benambly days, but if I tune into Tunnel Talk and I don't hear any penis talk, I'm going to be disappointed. Like, it was proper wrestling gear with a logo on and everything. It was just like so unexpected to be smuggling so vividly. It's like, come on, this is meant to be like proper wrestling gear, Andrade. Hey, maybe that's why wrestlers wear cups. Smooths it out like an action man, so you can pay attention to the wrestling. This is awesome from Orlando, but the man got his heat back going for Magnus's mask and going all kicky stompy for a moment. This match did such a great job elevating Andrade, but you can't forget Magnus's part, even if he only knows the sentence "Viva la Mexico" and literally shouted nothing else. Went for the running knee straight into the corner, but a minute later he was waiting to eat Andrade's knee to the face, but also get Andrade's dick charged right into his face as well. The nature that the move is hit with. Lifted after just one, just like last week. And I now know that his final cut is called the DM. Yep, I'm sure it's a D&D reference, yeah. Andrade screams nerd cool, right? After the break, we got Andrade's face talking at us. He wants the AEW World title. Swerve, you're in my way. See you Wednesday. And on to the main event, the CMLL Heavyweight Championship, Claudio Castagnoli versus Roderick Strong. Or CMLL World Championship? Oh, who cares? Full officials presenting the belt and posing for photos, CMLL title match presentation and all. Tony Khan into the ring holding the belt as Mox asked on commentary if he'll be sent a Polaroid of this. Lovely start with Claudio jumping Roddy before the bell to just ignite the man for the bell ring. Then Roddy returned the favour to send them brawling around ringside. The big Death Rider man worked over Roddy's legs. Can't be doing your big knee moves when your knees hurt. At least that's what Claudio thought. But to exemplify that point, Roddy did a backbreaker knee and went, ah, me knee. Also into that break going, ah, me knee, after a swing into the barricade. That's the role of Strong's offense though. So he's going to hit them knees and do Claudio's work weighing them down for him. He is one innovative man though. Angle slam toss off the top, but the sharpshooter after seemed to hurt him as much as it hurt the Swiss man. Used to swing damage into the ring post. Orange punch for the cheer, but the damage was already done. A stiff series of knees gave Roddy that final burst of fire, even dropped the knee pad to really hit Claudio down. Not today, Roddy. Ref pulled in the way of the charge, and bloody hell, what a swing holding that one hurt leg for the giant swing rotations. Neutralizer, 1, 2, 3. Great little Teddy defense. Because of the nature of the presentation beforehand, it didn't give it that greater gravitas feeling, and then I watched the match, I was like, oh yeah, that was a great TV match. I don't know if they wanted it to feel like something bigger, or if it's just that we're going to give it the presentation because of what it is. Still enjoyed the match. So I thought it was great. And always giggle at when I realise I'm entering the flow of, me knee. It's like, oh, here we go. This is the shit. Here we go. Yes, obviously a Collision hampered by the storm. Fair to say maybe certain matches went out longer than they were planned originally. Fair to say I wasn't meant to be watching Billy Gunn wrestle or hear Paul White for 2 hours. I like it when shows are kind of like rushed together like this. Like, sometimes you just get something interesting, exciting, and a little bit different. Like Andrade feeling like he genuinely got over. and he's got an amazing source for heat now. Just don't strip. It's easy going to do it and don't do it. Walk away. They don't deserve your abs this week. Actually lean into that. Properly do it. But yes, I generally did a very great time this week watching AEW. Very easy watches rather than being watches where I feel like you have to tune in this week because of any big storylines or things. The seeds that they're planting for the future, it's really good for you to watch the show this week so you feel that. So you feel what they're doing with the likes of Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, with Brody King. Also just establishing their top guys. It feels like they are really setting quite a flow for the rest of the year. Like they're putting their stalls out, setting the chairs. They're going to have a lovely dinner. It's going to be delicious. Sometimes these shows aren't super long. I can get my thoughts across like relatively quickly with some of the stuff. Sometimes it's just a good week of TV. But yeah, Swerve versus Kevin Knight was a special main event. 100% check that out. Any match where the crowd are up on their feet for the entire final flow, that tells you how great of a match you just witnessed. But anyway, thank you for listening, liking, engaging in any form, any manner. Always appreciated. Never take you for granted. I'll be back this time next week to talk about Dynamite and Collision. Please do check out all the other shows here on the Social Suplex Network. I feel like we're in a really good place right now. And I feel like I've been saying that for quite a while. But now we've got another show which we also feel pretty happy about. So I do generally just feel very, very happy to be part of this network. So anyway, I will see you this time next week. With that, I bid you adieu. Ta-ra. Ta-ra.